When should you follow your intuition and act quickly? When should you take the time to reflect before making any movement? The choice between these two fundamental cognitive types is a permanent dilemma in the life of any decision maker. In extreme situations, the wrong choice might even threaten the survival of the organization. For example, disruptive innovations, environmental catastrophes, and institutional shifts can be very dangerous. All of a sudden, the way things are done and the rules for success no longer apply. To survive and maintain their competitive position, organizations must adapt their processes before it is too late. In the face of such radical changes, what type of cognitive processing is more effective? Intuition or reflection? Well, a team of 4 researchers has teamed up to get to the bottom of it. By examining group adaptation to radical change in a laboratory experiment, they've gained fascinating insights into how the human brain operates in team settings. They divided 160 decision makers with experience in leadership roles into 80 groups and asked them to work together on a decision-making game. Over multiple rounds, they had to learn how not to waste resources by coordinating their actions. After 40 rounds, when a solid teamwork routine was established, the researchers introduced a radical change in the game's rules. Suddenly, the way things are done and the keys to success no longer apply. After this disruption, participants were induced to rely on their intuition or reflection, and then asked to play another 40 rounds following the new rule. This allowed the researchers to observe how participants coped with the new environmental demands. The change was indeed highly disruptive to the routines established. Performance immediately dropped by 50% across teams. However, there were differences in the level of adaptation in the following rounds. The study shows 2 main findings. First, teams using intuition outperformed almost 3 times those using reflection in rounds following the disruption. Interestingly, these teams not only performed better, but by the end of the game, those using intuition were able to reach higher performance levels than before the disruption. How did they do this? When it comes to organizational adaptation, the study shows that teams using intuition differ from those using reflection in 4 dimensions. Sensing. Intuition assists in identifying more functional responses behind the noise post-disruption. Speed. Intuition facilitates faster responses that allow the organization to learn what patterns work or not in the new environment. Flexibility. Intuition helps to abandon the old responses and adapt and retain new ones. Collaboration. Intuition enhances the coordination of actions between managers. The second finding of this study refers to the markets where intuition should be preferred to foster organizational adaptation after a discontinuous change. Markets with less complete information on customer preferences or regulatory rules increase ambiguity for decision makers. The study shows that in highly ambiguous environments, intuition is preferable over reflection because it allows managers to leverage smaller sets of information through unconscious pattern-matching processes. In fact, data indicates that cognitive types account for 60% of performance differences in highly ambiguous environments. Contrary to popular wisdom endorsing reflection, the bottom line is that managers can benefit from intuition for group adaptation to radical, discontinuous change, particularly in highly ambiguous environments. If managers do not want to risk the survival of their organizations, they should promote diversity of cognitive styles in their teams. For a more in-depth look at their findings, you can read the paper, When Reflection Hurts: The Effect of Cognitive Processing Types on Organizational Adaptation to Discontinuous Change in the Organization's Science Special issue on Experiments in Organizational Theory.